Welcome back everyone to another market review for E-mini NASDAQ. Today's November 19th, Tuesday, and we're going to be breaking down the morning session specifically. I also took a long setup on my paper trading account. I haven't been really liking price action in particular to my model, but it doesn't mean that I won't be engaging in price in other ways such as tape reading or even paper trading. Something else to note is that we also didn't have really any high impact news. I think the only high impact news we're going to have is going to be starting Thursday at 8:30, but other than that, this whole week could be a sort of a choppier week. So definitely keep risk at a minimal for any of you guys that are going to be engaging with live funds. But let's begin the breakdown. So here I'm on the daily chart for E-mini NASDAQ, and if we zoom in here at the levels that I was looking at for this particular long today, I had this old new day opening gap here. You could see the bodies being respected right there. And also I had this older new day opening gap to see how this wick would have managed here. I'm going to show you guys that in a second, how on the smaller time frames we could see price really respect these new day opening gaps. And if you guys aren't using them, I highly recommend you guys start using them. Something else to note is that we're also below the week opening price here, taking in a discount. And for these daily candles here, we can see that all this, as I said before in previous reviews, that this is a low resistance liquidity environment. In addition, also this upward movement here. So if price were to go upward, all this down movement here is a low resistance liquidity environment for price, so making it easier to rise up. So here we're on the 5-minute chart, and you can see how these two were my main draws. Unfortunately, I did get out a little early. I just wasn't liking a lot of this choppy upward movement. I'm going to show you guys that when we get on the 1-minute. But I got out here just above the buy stops that were above these equal highs here. But we can see price did draw to these main equal highs, that final terminus that I had, which were formed during the late Asian session and early pre-market London session. Also, something else to note from a premium and discount perspective, we're below that minute opening price. That's the first thing that's very, very big, where price is taking in a discount below the day open. And something else to note as well is, like I said before, we're below the week open, and we also took London low, and we also took the previous day low from yesterday. And you factor that in also, where all this is also is a low resistance liquidity environment, making, like I always say, the uptrend a lot easier to get past through, because there isn't anything really stopping price other than all this imbalance. And lastly, you could also see that the new day opening gaps were being respected quite well. We did blow past this one here, which is fine, but we can see price sort of readjust here. And in the beginning when we had it, we could also see wicks as well. So here I'm on the 1-minute chart, and we're going to break this down in more detail as to what I was really looking at specifically for this trade setup. So zooming in here, we can see that for that ICT silver bullet from 10 to 11 a.m., we can sort of see that we were consolidating for the most part going in. I also marked out that 10 a.m. opening price. We could see price sort of going back and forth in it. Not really showing a clear direction as to where we were going. It wasn't until we started nearing 10:30 a.m. where price started to sort of clean up, and we also left this BISI here. So breaking it down specifically, we could see that we have the large displacement getting above this high specifically. Something else to notice that I'm going to be treating this BISI as a breakaway gap, because we make a new high here, but we also don't trade below consequent encroachment. We see price displace up higher, closing above this high that I mentioned earlier. I also wanted to see speed above here, which we do get. Price also leaves this small breakaway gap in here, and then we also continue to trade higher. We then have this order block here, and then we also have another order block as well that forms right in here. Now, I did mention earlier that I did get out early here, right above these buy stops here. The reason really mainly was, like I said, I didn't really like price action overall going in for today, especially a lot of this consolidation before we had the rip higher. And something else that we didn't have was any high impact news. So I wasn't really expecting too much from price action. So I really decided just to get out early there. We did have our main target, above the minute opening price, which we could see price definitely already have tagged that out. But like I said, based on what we were seeing overall going in for today, I'd rather just get out there early. Maybe I would have left maybe 2 or 3 contracts running just to see and then put it at break even. But really was more of a scalp session, really just tape reading and seeing how price developed. Alrighty, so here I'm on the daily chart for DXY. And as we can see here, here's a new day opening gap that I marked out. We also have the buy side liquidity that I was talking about earlier as well in a couple older videos. But I've been mainly bearish on dollar because all this low resistance liquidity environment is going to pose for price, declining a lot quicker. But like I said, it depends. We also have these equal highs up here that are still clean. So really what I'm going to be watching is price going to respect this BISI specifically here, and then we sort of take these equal highs before heading lower, or do we begin to decline from right here? But from a premium and discount perspective, we can see that for the month, we're currently in a premium as well as the year. So we've built in such a deep premium, at least on these two fronts. But again, it will require more time and more information to see how it develops going in. And here I'm on the 5-minute chart, and we can see that it sort of was a little bit wonky here. Here's that buy side liquidity, which we actually take again during the London session and slams price down. Here's also another new day opening gap that I mentioned earlier as well. We can see the bodies being respected there, and then it begins to trade lower. Now, in specific to the trading session that we were looking at, which was that 10 to 11 a.m. session, we do see DXY decline. We have this previous day low here. Again, a lot of sell stops are going to be below these lows, so I am expecting a little bit more bearishness as we keep sort of tagging this below and leaving, like I said, sell stops below these lows. But I'm going to need more information going in and really let DXY sort of settle itself, because we can see, like I said, a lot of this chopping back and forth. There's that 9:30 a.m. opening price. You can see it chop back and forth, and even the midnight opening price as well. So there's sort of not a clear direction as to where DXY wants to go, but I'd rather just give it time and not really force anything going in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this market review. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Also, comment down below if you guys have any questions, and join the Discord. It's completely free. It's going to be linked in the description below, and I'll catch you guys in the next market review. Peace.